Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. And yes, Fulham have just went to Stamford Bridge and won 2-1, scoring in the 95th minute, come away with all 3 points. So we're going to be talking about Chelsea as a collective, the game as a collective, and then I want to talk about a few individuals, including Enzo Maresca. Before we get on to Chelsea, I just want to say congratulations to Fulham because they were brilliant today, both in and out of possession. And I thought they caused Chelsea a lot of problems because they were brave, they were very well drilled out of possession, and I thought Calvin Bassey was brilliant today. I thought Iwobi was very dangerous, and I thought the absence of Emile Smith-Rowe actually played into Fulham's hands because having the physicality and the directness of someone like Sasa Lukic caused Chelsea a lot of problems. But getting back to the game, I kind of felt like it was a game of two halves. I thought Chelsea looked really good inside the first half, despite lacking that final spark in the But getting back to the game, I thought it was kind of a game of two halves because I thought Chelsea looked really bright, really positive, quite sharp in the first half, but they did lack some spark in that final third, which we'll get on to very shortly. And I just thought the second half, Fulham absolutely deserved it. I thought they controlled it in and out of possession. But inside that final third, I just thought we lacked that final ball decision making, just making the right choice. And it just seems like the flares and the spark has went out the team a bit. So if I'm a manager looking at that, I'm looking to mix it up, because it's just not working at the minute. If you think back to the Everton game, we only had an XG of 0.77. Today, we only had an XG of 0.82. I mean, Fulham created the better chances. They had an XG of 1.32. So it just does feel something's not quite right in that final third. And I don't want to put it all on to Nicholas Jackson because it wasn't just him. Individually, I think we all had pretty good games, but there wasn't that flow, there wasn't that fluidity that it normally is with Chelsea. I don't know whether it's tiredness, confidence, but there's something just not quite clicking. I thought Cole Palmer took his goal tremendously well. How beautiful is it when Cole Palmer scores? He always makes things look just effortlessly and elegant. It's just a joy to watch, so credit to him. I actually thought Cole Palmer looked very bright in that first half. I thought he was at it, he was sharp, he was trying to make things happen, but other movements of the other players just wasn't happening. And on the flip side, if you look at the way Fulham were getting forward, they were brave, they were making off-ball runs, they were looking to exploit space, and I just couldn't see Chelsea doing that. Now, let's talk about Nicholas Jackson for a second, because I know I haven't put him in my notes there because I wanted to speak about him. I want to say that I like Nicholas Jackson. I thought he linked up play well today. He was quite technical on the ball. He made a few good runs, but he just lacks that decisive edge, that clinicalness that we do need. And this is why I always say we do need a second striker. Not necessarily saying replace Nicholas Jackson, but we need a second striker to help him, because Enzo Maresca obviously doesn't have faith in Christopher Nkunku, João Felix, or Mark Gu in the Premier League. You look at João Felix's situation, he's had 0 minutes, and when we're looking for some creativity, looking for some spark, it makes you question, does Enzo Maresca trust him? But this is why we need a second striker for moments like this. All the good teams over the years have always had 2-3 good strikers that can step in when a player's out of form. And that's what we need. If we want to compete in the Champions League, want to compete in the Premier League, we need at least 2 strikers. So when one's quite off it, the other one can carry the burden. And that's what it's all about, building the squad depth to compete. So when we get linked to strikers, don't say, oh, well, we've already got Nicholas Jackson, or Nicholas Jackson finished. That's not the case. It's about building a squad to compete week in, week out. Because every single player goes through bad form. Nicholas Jackson at the minute is going through a run of bad games. And it's frustrating because the players perform well individually. So Jadon Sancho performed quite well at times. Cole Palmer did. Pedro Neto did. Nicholas Jackson did. Enzo Fernandez did. Moses Caicedo did. Individually, they actually performed really well. But as a collective, it just wasn't working. And then we'll move into that double pivot. And I thought Enzo Fernandez and Moses Caicedo were very good again. And they were against Everton. When they put us in the final third, we're kind of finished with chances. Or can we create chances anymore? But they're certainly doing their job. I think Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, and Pedro Neto looked dead on the feet. They looked absolutely exhausted out there, and Enzo Maresca just left them on. I think he's worried about changing it because he's worried in case he loses a game when he does, but in fact we lost the game anyways. And this brings it back to the in-game management itself, because I think once we went 1-0 up, we kind of took our foot off the gas, and we'll kind of be doing that when we've got quite a naive and unexperienced squad like Chelsea. When we go 1-0 up, that's when you step it up a gear. Can we get a second? Can we get a third? And I kind of felt we just went flat once we went 1-0 up. It was kind of like, yes, we're 1-0 up, we're just going to see this game out. But you've got to remember, we're a young squad and we're a squad still in transition. So we're not good enough to see games out yet. Yes, we've got away with it a few times this season. When you think back last season, we're conceding a lot of goals. And I do think we're far too open today. And when you think back to Fulham's goals, there was far too much space for Fulham to cut through. I think they smelt our vulnerabilities and knew if they were brave and expressive and committed bodies forward, they would score. And that's exactly what happened. I thought Levi Colwill, I think he's had a terrific season, but I do think he just lost his man. He lost concentration. The runner got off him, and then Tosin just had pretty much 3 men to mark and nothing he could do. With that being said, I think Levi Colwill and Tosin actually had a decent game. So that's what I'm saying. I thought individually, everybody had an okay game. But when it comes to a collective and working as a unit, it wasn't quite there. We were getting pulled apart too much. And then we'll get on to Pedro Neto. I think his defensive duties took a lot away from him in the final third. I think before the game, we're speaking about the importance of Robinson and how much he brings to this Fulham squad. We actually focused our game around him, and it didn't let us to express ourselves or play our natural game. I loved his work rate. Don't get us wrong, he did a terrific job. He was working hard for the team, getting back, but it did take away our fluidity in the final third. It did take away somebody that'll get on the ball and try and beat a man. I thought Noni Madueke would have been perfect for this game, so obviously he must have had an injury, but the failing to change personnel or tactics from Enzo Maresca cost us today. As a manager, when you're watching performances like that and you're seeing players not being able to get into the team, it's up to you to change it, either change it tactically or personnel-wise. And I thought Cole Palmer, for the best part of that last half an hour, just looked on his knees. He looked knackered. Same with Enzo Fernandez. Let's change it. Let's freshen it up. Let's bring some fresh legs on, some energy, some enthusiasm. I thought João Felix would have done that, to be honest. I just thought he would have caused Fulham a lot of problems, because if we could get the ball to him in those little pockets, he's got that creativity, he's got that speed of thought that can change a game in an instant. And something must have went on. He mustn't be training well, or something must have happened, because for me, every time he stepped on the pitch, he's looked quite bright. Think of that Leicester game, he actually played a very good game. Tactically, a very good game when he was coming in off that left-hand side. It worked well. Why couldn't we change it to do something like that? Make Fulham think about what we're doing instead of thinking about what they're doing. I just thought today Enzo Maresca just failed to identify how to change a game. And I'm not trying to throw shade on Enzo Maresca, because he's been unbelievable this season. And this is one, maybe 2 hiccups. Look, he's got so much in his locker that he can get away with stuff like this because he's earned it. But you've got to call it out for what it is. And that's exactly how I seen the game unfold. I thought we were too open at the back. Fulham smelt that and absolutely punished with. Fulham deserved their win. I thought Fulham were the better side. They had more possession, they had more shots, they had more XG. Everything about Fulham today was brilliant on and off the ball, so you've got to commend them for it. Again, just little things like having Pedro Neto so deep just invited pressure on and didn't cause Fulham any trouble. Sometimes a reward outweighs the risk, and have Pedro Neto being on the front foot, get Fulham thinking about pushing Anthony Robinson back rather than us pushing Pedro Neto back. And that's exactly what I mean. So I just think, especially in that second half, we didn't take the game to Fulham. We played into Fulham's hand. And finally, I want to talk about Robert Sanchez, because, look, he's actually improved very much in the past month. So I don't want to criticize him so much, because today, again, he made good saves for one, kept winning the game, but his decision-making with the ball on his feet, oh my lord, what we've got to do to get it into his head to make the right decision. Surely they're working on this in training, but again, lacking that composure, that expertise on how to make the right decision. He's a good shot stopper. Nobody's ever said he isn't, and he's made some good saves, but I do not trust him with the ball at his feet. And he was at fault for one of those goals today, so again, costing us points. But this is why I say Chelsea weren't in a title race for games like this, because it's kind of like if things aren't going our way. But I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below, because I think I need to absorb that match and watch it all over again and really dissect where it went wrong. This is just a reactionary video, so let me know in the comments below what you made of it, what you made of the game, and are Chelsea still in the title race? For me, they never have been, but let us know in the comments below. And once again, I just want to say I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, thank you very much.